Welcome to She's Grace Authentic. Welcome or welcome back, either one. If this is your first time here, hello. Nice to meet you. What's happening? What's up? I'm so grateful for you to be here with your girl, Grace Authentic. Y'all see that G? Y'all see that G? Y'all see that G? Yeah, baby. If this is your second, third, fourth, whatever time it is, I am so grateful for you to be back. Give it up for everybody who is here with me, sharing this energy, sharing my energy, giving me your energy, giving me your precious, valuable time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go follow me on all social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok. I am She's Grace Authentic, the same way it's spelled on here. And on Facebook, I am Caitlin Marie Grace Authentic in parentheses. The proper spelling is in the description box. Okay. I post every Monday and every Thursday at 8:08 p.m. So please put that notification bell on so you can get the notification of when I drop some more knowledge. Come share this energy, share this space with me. Like, comment, subscribe. All right. And if you have not been here before, I call my episode sessions. So I begin each session, okay, with a prayer welcoming in God. And that is what we're going to do, all right? God, Spirit, the divine, I welcome you into this space. I welcome you into this place, this sanctuary. I ask you to come in, allow your energy to flow. Ancestors, spirit guides, the divine, the most high. I am one with you as you are one with me. I am one with all entities. Mother Earth is a part of me as it is a part of you, as we are a part of each other. Spirit, I step aside. I ask you to come in. I embrace you. I am one with you. I am the highest version of myself, which is ultimately you. I ask you to speak to the viewers, break down knowledge so they can apply it and make it wisdom. Allow your words, your light, your guidance to come through. So, hello. You can tell by the name what we're talking about today. Grace wins. Don't bully the broken. Let the universe heal it. So, for whoever has been here with me before, then you already know that I like to start off each session with a oracle message or a tarot message. Today, I am incorporating some tarot cards, okay? And I'm going to break down the meanings of each card. And tarot cards are just like clues, right? To help you understand yourself better. I am a reader. I do readings and I help people align with their life. And through my readings, I promise you, a reading can change your life, baby. And so that is why I'm bringing these cards in, incorporating these cards into my videos, because I ultimately understand that that is, my spiritual tools. That is my gift, one of my gifts. That is what I am here to do, to help you get into alignment. That is also what helped me get into alignment, to, strategically prepare for things that will take place rather in the future or, your current state, and even for your past, right? It helps you. It's not crazy. It's not the devil. No, it is helping you to truly understand the subconscious mind, right? It's helping you to understand a deeper version of things yourself in this world, right? To ultimately grow and love yourself more and love other people more and understand people better. So, Today, we are going to be utilizing the When Women Had Wings. And this is my main deck. This is the deck that I pretty much use for all of my readings. I have two other tarot decks, but that's definitely my main deck. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start this off with two cards. All right. These two cards, and I'm going to read the two cards and the meanings of them. And then I'm going to dive into the message and why and how these cards relate to, when you're going through things and you're dealing with things and people have wronged you, and perhaps you have allowed them to wrong you, or you were naive and you didn't know, right? There is no place of revenge. The universe, God, spirit, the most high, the higher power, whatever you connect with, whatever you call it, will handle it, will heal it, will fix it, right? You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to do absolutely nothing. All right. And to further, break down to understand that people are already broken, right? And that's why they even did what they did to you in the first place. And you don't bully people that are already broken, especially when you know better, right? And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to teach you how to know better so you can do better. But understand something, doing better is a decision. It's a choice. I've always heard if you know better, you do better. That's not true. That is not true. And I'm not going to say a lot, but I do know there are some people that know better and just choose not to do better. Okay? So you have to make a conscious decision and a conscious choice to understand that, you release control and you surrender. And, if you have been wronged, right? Cause and effect. Karma is real. What you put out is what you get back, right? And so also if you have wronged, if you were the oppressor, right? And you did some things to other people, right? It will come back on you. And also to not be too hard on yourself either. So I'm going to give a balance here. But give you some clarity from all sides, all right? And so we're starting with the Justice card, okay? The Justice card. Hopefully y'all can see that. And the Temperance card. Temperance, all right? And I'm going to give you the definition of each card, and then I'm going to tell you what each card means to me and what I see it as, okay? So we're going to start with Justice, all right? And then I'm going to incorporate how this, relates to what we're talking about today, okay? Where is Justice? Justice, being brave enough to seek truth. An equal partnership between compassion and accountability. Detaching from any desired outcomes in hopes of being impartial enough to recognize truth. Deliberating, negotiations, weighing a situation to determine a just course of action. Insight, fair and impartial judgment, the law of cause and effect. Seeking balance in relationship, business, legalities, equal partnership, successful outcomes in legal situations, listening to the inner call of right action, regardless of pressure from external forces, risking rejection in the name of following your intuitive sense of right action. That was deep, huh? And then we're going to go to Temperance, and then I'm going to break down what each card means to me and how it relates to this, because understand something, all of these cards have multiple meanings. So I'm not just giving you one, I'm giving you how it relates to this, but justice could be these cards can be used in many different contexts, okay? That's why it's giving you all different kinds of breakdowns. It's giving you all different kinds of meanings that the cards could have according to, what other cards surround it, or what other cards are included in the reading, all right? Your next card is Temperance. A living bridge between two worlds, art as an expression of ideas from an internal world, brought forth into the external world, ability to adapt, grace under pressure, harmony, alchemy in terms of blending various and often opposing forces to create something new. Balancing inner and outer worlds, moderation and inner peace allow you to sustain harmony in chaos or crisis. Embodying patience, maintaining perspective, and calm in the midst of anxiety or stress. Choosing flow over force, keeping your temperament in balance due to self-love. Self-knowledge, which brings a peaceful understanding of this too shall pass. And so I'm going to give you just like in the smallest layman's term, right? What these cards mean for me and mean for what we are doing, what we are talking about today, right? So justice is that if you have been wronged or if you wrong somebody, justice is going to happen in that situation. But I want to talk about if you have been wronged, because that's really what this is about, right? If you have been wronged, right, and something is not fair, and you feel as though something is not fair, or somebody hurt you, or somebody did something unjust, the universe is going to step in. Justice, the universe is going to step in, right? And temperance is balance. They're both balanced. They're both balanced cards, vehicles. Interesting vehicles, right? Movement, right? So I'm going to kind of use my intuition here. So I don't know why I said vehicles. I said vehicles because there's movement, right? So that means that the universe is going to move on your behalf, right? These two cards come together, right? I'm getting the Chariot. The Chariot is movement in the tarot deck, right? And so, you don't need to be the vehicle, right? God, spirit, the universe is your vehicle of justice and temperance. Your ancestors, all of everybody who protects you, especially, I'm talking to the ones who are in alignment, right? Everybody who protects you, or ultimately, if you're trying to get into alignment, right? This is not just for people who are already doing the right thing, right? But I am speaking to the ones who are doing the right thing and something unjust has happened, right? But I'm also speaking to the ones who, may have been doing the wrong thing but want to get into alignment. Understand something. Revenge, is you taking matters into your own hands, right? And that's not for you to do. You give people grace and you understand that justice will be served and that temperance will come in where they balance out the scales, right? Meaning that it is not on you, you become disruptive. By you taking out revenge on other people because they have wronged you. There's no strategy in that. Right? There's no structure in that. There's no discipline in that. There's no respect for yourself in that. Understand that. When somebody has wronged you, right? You give them grace. Right? Why do we give people grace? Like, it's like grace. Why grace? Why do we give people grace? Right? Because if somebody has wronged you, it's because they're hurting. It's because they are internally battling, right? Is that your fault? No, baby, it's not. It's not your fault. And if you had the utmost, highest, beautiful intentions for this person and they wronged you, right? And today, Friday, September the 5th, 2025. I want to mark this day on this video. I have been wronged many of times. All right. And some of the things, I probably don't even know everything that has happened. Right. But the things that I do know of have cut deeply. Right. And so, what I understand though is that if I take matters into my own hands, then first of all, I am saying that I'm not valuable. I lose my value by doing that, because that means that I have to force something into place. I have to take control over the situation. I am not in alignment. I do not understand God, how much God loves me, how much Spirit loves me, how much my ancestors love me. I do not understand, even my own, I don't love myself. I don't understand my own self-worth, because I am saying, all right, fuck me for this other individual because they hurt me. When ultimately refraining, silence is power. Taking yourself back is power. You being the value and walking away is power, right? And releasing it into the universe, releasing it back, giving it back to God, giving it back to Spirit, giving it back to the universe, whatever you believe in, the Most High, Jehovah, the higher power. I don't care what you believe in, right? But giving it back, right? And understanding that if you are doing, your work and you are aligning, and there was an unjust moment, that temperance, balance is going to come into play. That is the way the world works. You know how many times I've told people, especially people I was dealing with, you're not hurting me, you're hurting yourself. And what I meant by that was, yeah, you might be hurting me right now. For now. All right. Maybe there's somebody who hurt me and I don't even know yet. Maybe there's somebody who hurt me and I don't know about it. Behind my back, right? Right? But understand something. At the time that person is hurting me, they're ultimately hurting themselves in the long run. In the long run. Why is that? Because you lose me in the end. If you go against somebody that's in alignment and you're unjust to them, right? Then ultimately, yeah, it's going to come back on you. And so I'm not going to say always. I haven't always, because I have retaliated before. But what I do understand today, and what I have understood for a while, is that I have to put things into God's hands, because, the power that God has actually becomes our power, right? It is our power. And so to know that I don't even have to lift a finger for someone to face the things that they have done, right? Then it frees me first, right? It frees me. But then I truly believe and know that I'm not going against myself. I'm not losing myself. I'm not devaluing myself. I'm actually planting a seed for fresh, new, fertile abundance, right, to come in. I'm not getting out of alignment losing my own path, walking off of my own path because of what somebody else has done to me, because somebody else wronged me. No, we don't do that. You give people grace, and you understand that you giving it back to God, that it's going to be healed, or it's going to be balanced, or justice will be served. Whether it's done in front of you, whether you know or not, whether you know that justice is being served or not, meaning in the physical realm, whether you can physically see somebody hurting or whatever the case may be, right? Whether you could physically see the justice. And listen, sometimes God will show it to you. If God intends for you, like, you need that, if that is the intention there, if God shows you that is intentional, there's a reason for that, right? And so if God does not, you just have to trust to know that the scales will be balanced out. There is no way that you can love wholly, fully, and nurture people, and you do the right things and stay in alignment, and you not be rewarded for that. But also, there's no way that when people do the wrong things, that they not suffer the consequences, right? I think about my children, and I'm a woman that is big on integrity. I am big on the internal side of my children, right? And I'm big on discipline. I am big on the balance of love and discipline, because what I need them to understand, because I am preparing them for this world, right? And I need them to understand that there is cause and effect. There's a reaction for every action, right? Something is going to happen if you do this, right? Whether that be good or whether that be bad, right? Whatever you choose to do is going to come with either a reward or a consequence. That is how this world works, right? And ultimately, that if you do something bad to somebody else, you're really doing it to yourself, right? The cause and the effect. Because we're all intertwined, we're all connected, right? I probably would do a video on that, right? You hurting somebody else hurts you, because it's all energy, right? And so, for me, I know when people have wronged me, you lose out on me. You lose out on me. Before it was eventually. Now you lose out quicker than eventually. I'm not coming here to play. I got boundaries now, right? But you lose out on value. You lose out on probably the best fucking thing that could have ever happened to your life. But not only that, I know if you wrong me, something's going to happen outside of you losing me, right? Things are going to take place. When you are in alignment and you're doing the right things, God's going to spank that ass when somebody mess up, right? God's going to come in. You ain't got to do it. And I guarantee you, you let it play out. You let the universe do its thing, baby. Whew. It's going to be worse than anything you could have ever done. But that's not what it's about. Because ultimately, my heart, listen to me. My heart is really like, I hurt when other people have hurt me, even if they have wronged me. you don't want to wish bad upon anybody, right? That's not the heart, or there should be the desires of your heart. But I am here to tell you that if you feel like something has been unfair and, in your chest, justice hasn't been served, you feel like somebody really hurt your soul. Somebody really played with you. Justice is going to be served. Balance will come in. The scales will be balanced without you having to do absolutely nothing. But I also want you to understand, I give people grace because I ultimately understand and know that they didn't see my value because they didn't even see their own. They don't see their own, right? And so sometimes, it takes me to step into somebody's life, you to step into somebody's life and then step out and, things to happen for them to learn their lesson, right? Sometimes, people are unhealed beings. A lot of people, not everybody, but there's a lot of people out here that aren't healed. They're going through internal turmoil. They're dealing with past traumas from, people that have passed on in their family, meaning like, their ancestral lineage, the generational curses of that, like, right? Like the patterns, the bad habits that have been passed down that nobody has worked through, that nobody has addressed, right? Like if I could relate it to me, I've had plenty of different things. Like the women in my family have been very aggressive, very, impulsive, very forceful, scarcity mindset, a lack mindset, right? Didn't understand their worth, didn't understand their value, very been in very abusive relationships and, overcompensated in a lot of situations and, a lack of self-worth, a lack of self-love, all of these things, right? And so most people haven't tapped into themselves and sat down with themselves to really truly figure out why they're hurting people. They don't even understand, why they're doing what they're doing. I said this in a previous video. It's a sickness that they're spiritually sick, right? They're spiritually sick. And so they're not hurting you because they're not hurting you because you're not valuable. Understand that has nothing to do with you. They're hurting you because they're hurt, right? They're wronging you because they're maybe too immature to truly value who you are, because they haven't figured out who they are. They haven't, done the work to understand their value and what they bring to the table to really be able to carry your depth, right? And so I give grace because I'm not here to judge nobody. Does that mean that I stay being in a friendship, stay being in a relationship? Maybe not. Maybe so. I don't know. If you've wronged me, at this point, yeah, that's who you are. And until you can show me that you have changed and that you have done the work and I see your growth, then I will stay gone, right? I have to see the growth, right? But I do give people grace because I really move like God, right? God will allow anybody back. It's free will. God takes in everybody, but you got to do the work. You know, I'm not out here. Yeah, I'll give you grace. Meaning, let me really dive in. Do not bully. Do not beat on somebody because they wronged you. They already know that they have wronged you. They're already suffering. They're already dealing with the turmoil of it, right? They already know. Walking away is enough. Allowing the universe and God to do its thing is enough, right? The justice, it's going to be served. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to take matters into your own hands. That just fucks you up. It just destroys you internally, you know. Um, don't allow their turmoil to become yours. Hold your energy, surrender the situation, release control, because you're ultimately not in control anyways. And that's the problem, that we're trying to gain control over situations that we really don't control anyways. I don't care what you do. Is it really going to change that person? No. If you bust them upside their shit, if you bust their windows out, I bust your windows out your car. If you bust their windows, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you cuss them out, you scream, I don't care. I don't care what you do, right? You are ultimately not in control, and that for sure is not going to change them. It's not going to heal them. It's not going to heal you. It's not going to change anything about the situation. You are only diving in deeper. You're wasting your energy. You know what I'm saying? When you could be utilizing your energy and alchemizing your pain and turning it into power. Go look at my video prior to this one. Turn your pain into power. 6 steps of alchemy, right? And so, no, like, no. The best thing to do when somebody has wronged you is to remove yourself from the energy and from the space. I know it can be hard. Trust me. I know how hard that can be. Ooh. I know y'all heard in one of them cards, external forces, right? Listen, it's tough. I'm not gonna say, the flesh don't wanna be able to say something or do something. That impulsiveness, but you gotta tame that. You gotta control that. You gotta be strategic, right? Because ultimately, something better is going to come in anyway. And you're going to be rewarded for what you do. And they're going to deal with whatever it is that they have to deal with, right? But I'm not here to beat down somebody that's already beaten down. You're already hurting. First of all, if it's a situation with me, you lost me. That's deep. That's tough. To lose me? Ooh. I would never want to lose me. But besides that, before you lost me, you was already bent out of shape. That's why you wronged me. Now you bent out of shape, you lost me. Who knows what's coming next from what you did, right? From wronging me, right? The combination of those 3, I don't have to step in and say or do anything. I don't have to. I don't even want to invest my energy into nothing like that. No, don't do that. No. Push forward, remain in sovereignty, right? Control yourself, right? Give people grace, the same grace you would want if you had wronged somebody or made a mistake. And I know that you have. I know that there's something you have done in your life that you probably would have done differently. I'm not going to say regret because I don't believe in stuff like that, but I know there's something that you wish you would have done differently. And so put yourself in their position and, be able to say, you know what? They just didn't know no better. They just didn't know any better, right? They didn't fully quite understand, because if you're aware and and you really love yourself and you're really in alignment, you're not going to make those kinds of decisions in wrong people. Ultimately, we've all been in a position where we've done something, we wish that, we had done differently, right? And we've all been in a bad position before. We've done things in our life. I don't know not one person that hasn't done something they wasn't supposed to do. Find me one. I don't believe in perfect, okay? And so I know that I have not only given myself grace, God gives me grace, but I don't condemn myself and I don't condemn or judge other people. If you have hurt me, I understand. I understand where you're at. I understand, maybe not to the full context, but I do understand that you're internally battling. Now, does that mean that we have to decide to stay and deal with that person? No, you move on, you set boundaries, but you give it back to God. You release it because ultimately you know and you trust that God is going to heal it, balance it out, and justice will be served, right? And you don't bully people that are already messing up in life and messing up their own life. If they're messing up your world, then they're messing up their own world. All right. It goes hand in hand. Okay. So thank you so much for being here with me. I love, 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 love you. Please follow me on all social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok, Facebook. All of the descriptions, all of the screen names are in the description box. If you want to cash at me a little token of love, I would greatly appreciate it. That is in the description box. As well as if you want to book a session with me, go to www.sacredalignment.life. That is below in the description box. I do readings, I do one on one alignment sessions, sacred alignment sessions. And yes, I appreciate your energy. I love, 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 love you. Thank you for being here with me. God bless you. Mwah.